Hello from the Bowling University studio at the International Bowling Campus in Arlington, Texas. Welcome to The Profit Break. If you're joining us for the first time, we're glad you're here. Give us 15 minutes and you'll be well on your way to improving yourself and your profitability. Are you like me and find making group sales calls difficult and don't know where to start? And when you do try to get started, it feels like the cupboard is empty? Then you're watching the right episode. Our guest today is here to get you on your way to doubling your group sales. Joining us today is a longtime friend of myself and Bowling University, Ms. Sheryl Bindleglass, CEO and CFO, Chief Fun Officer of Sheryl Golf, known for driving sales and profits for over 30 years in the industry. She has trained hundreds of group sales staff and managers, helping them exceed their sales goals. She even took one location from $280,000 to over $1 million in group sales without alcohol. Sheryl, thank you for joining us here on the set of The Profit Break.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to share all about group sales.
We are just excited to have you on set for the first time, and hopefully there'll be more to join us down the road.
I look forward to it.
You said 30 years. You said started selling at the age of 7, so it makes you 37.
Yes.
We're glad to have you with us at your veteran age here on staff on the Profit Break. From your experience, go dive right in here. From your experience, what was a pivotal moment when you figured out how to double group sales?
Thank you for asking me that. We were working on our plan for the next year, and we were having a good team huddle, and everybody was talking. And from out of nowhere, I said, wait, what would happen if we called all of our past groups? The room went silent. I'm like, yeah, we don't do that. I bet we'd increase our sales. Just by calling all of our past groups, we doubled our group sales.
Well, and then there's more to that, right? You when you were telling me this earlier, you said that you can get the next step to that process is?
So after we started calling all of our past groups, we also asked them what would happen to our sales team if we said, and thank you for having your group event here. Who else in your company books groups? What friends do you have that you think would like to have a fun event with us? And we would get 2 to 3 referrals from each of those phone calls.
We could wrap up Profit Break right now.
That's it, we're done.
Right there, in like 3 minutes, we have 2 huge steps to getting really started in the group sales process, which I've self-admittedly not comfortable doing. So you've started filling our funnel, but really, how do we get started?
I think the biggest mistake most people make, they'll sit there and they'll say, I don't know where to start, or who should we call? You need to know who is your target. What is the type of group that you want to bring in? And a lot of people will be what I call order takers. They answer that phone. We were phenomenal order takers, but we weren't sales makers. We were not sitting back and saying, we know we like corporations. So what other corporations are in our area? Now you've got ChatGPT. You can quickly go in and say, please give me a list of the top 10 companies within 5 miles of my location, and it will give you an amazing list. It costs you nothing for that.
Wow, another great tip. We're on fire, so let's keep going.
Okay.
What's your number one favorite thing to do to keep that funnel filled?
Keeping the funnel filled is a daily activity. If you are not doing my favorite quote of 5 by 10, 5 by 10 means every single day you are going to call, contact, and connect. Not just pick up the phone, hey, it's Sheryl, and nobody answers, okay, call me back, click, bye. You want to make a connection with somebody. When you are making 5 by 10, you're making 5 calls, contacts, connections, all by 10 a.m. Want to know why by 10 a.m.? I'm so glad you were about to ask me that. For those of you who are in the industry, you know that after 10 o'clock, your park or your center or whatever you want to call your facility gets crazy. The phones start ringing, guests start coming in, the reports need to get done, and you're all of a sudden running behind and you don't get to do it. So if you have a daily huddle, before you get to your huddle, you have to make your 5 by 10.
I've heard you say the term 5 by 10 before. I've never heard you explain it. That's an aha moment for me. And I love the phrase call, contact and connect. And I also love the order takers instead of, you want to be a sales maker. Love those terms. So you have, when I think about sales, when people talk about filling that funnel, I thought you were going to go to like social media. I mean, how do we use social media to help fill that funnel?
Thank you. I know a lot of people will say, Sheryl, you talk at all these conferences. I was with another group and a woman sat there like this. I was like, ooh, she's not happy with this topic. And afterwards I went up, I said, what about this did you not love? She said, Sheryl, you're my favorite speaker. I love everything you've taught me. I've been to 15 of your sessions. This one is not going to work for me. And I said to her, why not? Social media, I don't like LinkedIn. I don't like being social online. So I said to her, I will make you a deal. If you try it for the next 60 days and you do not book one group based on what I taught you in this class, I'll give you anything. I'll give you a free hour of consulting. I'll give you a book. I'll give you whatever you want because your time's valuable. Fast forward about 45 days later, my phone rings and I don't have caller ID. And I answered. And this person's like, oh my gosh, you'll never, blah, blah, blah. And I couldn't get a word in edgewise. She said, I booked 2 of the biggest corporate events I've booked in the last 5 years. These are groups I tried to book for 5 years and I couldn't make headway. But because of what you taught me how to do on LinkedIn and to reach out and to talk to them and send them an article, send them a tip sheet on how to plan your next corporate event, even if it wasn't with us, I booked both and now we made over $15,000.
Well, she sounds a lot like me. I'm a good conversationalist. I don't think of it as networking. To me, it's like a personal thing, not a business thing. So how do you encourage people to make that networking, because that's social networking, but there's more than just that networking, right? How do we make networking more fun and enjoyable to make it something we want to do instead of just have to do?
So most people will sit there and say, oh, I have to go to a networking event. I look at it like, wow, I get to go to a networking event. So this was a turning point for my team. I said to them, we are all going to the world's largest networking party. And they're like, we don't network. I said, I'm going to teach you how to network. The one person did not like to look up and make eye contact. They were always looking down. I said, at the end of the night, I want you to tell me how many people had blue eyes, how many had brown eyes, and how many had green. And they're like, what? I said, if you're looking to look at the color of their eyes, you're going to be making eye contact. But I gave them a challenge. They each had 10 business cards. That was it. They had to give out 10 and collect 10. I said, very simple, your name, what do they do? Find a hobby. Do they like to bowl? Do they like to play golf? Do they like to fish? Find out something. Do they have kids? They said, okay, we can do this. Well, I noticed that they were all kind of wrapping up, and I said, there's still 2 hours of this networking party. They're like, we're out of cards. I said, you can use my card. It's okay. Cross it out, write your name, because we ran a contest. Who gave out the most of their cards and had people call? So I was going to give them a bonus per phone call. So it made it a little bit more of a gamification and fun. I'm usually the first one in, last one out. I get in the next morning, and the phones are ringing at 7:30. I'm like, what is going on? And I'm answering, and I see my staff are laughing. I'm like, what happened? Nobody would tell me. I finally find out that they just gave out my cards to every copier salesperson and said, we need a new copier. Sheryl wants to talk to all of you. I'm like, oh, that was very nice. So I showed them how we turned all those copy calls into a book group. Because if you're going to sell me a copy machine, I'm going to have you book a group here. You have to do a group appreciation. They're like, I can't believe she turned our joke into group sales.
Well, you've got that mindset that, like I said, it's not something that comes naturally to me. It comes very naturally to you. What's the most valuable lesson you've learned? You've obviously done a lot of training. You've learned from training and coaching these sales teams.
The biggest personal thing that most people will do is they take it personally. I always say make it personal, but don't take it personally. When somebody says, no, I'm not interested, that's an okay thing to hear. We want to move on to the next call. We want to say, it might not be the right time. We want to talk to them and say, can you tell me a little bit about any other events you might want to have or host or plan? And if they still get a no, it's okay. So here's a fun thing to do, Kelly. Even if it's just a one person, we'll put a jar on the desk. And we call it a penny war. Every time you make a call, you put a penny in. And you just we have a roll of pennies, nickels, dimes, quarters. Every time you get somebody on the phone, you throw a nickel in. Every time that person lets you call them back, that's a dime, and a quarter is when you book them. So they always say, oh, we keep making calls and we're not getting success. We'll dump the jar out and you're like, wow, there aren't as many pennies as there are silver coins. So we make it fun for them.
Oh, I like that. I feel more comfortable being on a sales team today than I did just 8 minutes ago. So let's have a little fun.
Okay.
A couple questions left. We got just enough time for a couple more questions. So if you could give some advice to that 7-year-old Girl Scout Sheryl, that is, what would have saved her from making a bunch of mistakes along the way?
Okay, great question. And yes, I did get top award for selling the most cookies.
Of course you did.
Never sell what you can't deliver. And I'm going to mix this with the cookies and the grapefruit sales that we had to do. I wanted to be the top salesperson, so I was out there selling all these cases of oranges and grapefruits. And we sold, and then these massive 18-wheeler trucks came in, and we had to go pick them up. Do you know how big a case of oranges are and a case of grapefruits? Even though my parents, yes, a station wagon, we had to make 5 trips. We put some up on a roof rack. So I tried to figure out, how did that lesson teach me something for our family entertainment centers? When you have a group salesperson oversell a product, for example, we can handle 5,000 Rutgers freshman orientation students. Our property was not equipped for 5,000. Only sell what you can deliver. And you could sell it, but your team has to be able to deliver it. Is that kitchen able to handle that much food? Are they able to make sure that the experience you sold is going to work for everybody? So undersell, over-deliver. Don't oversell all those oranges and grapefruits and not be able to deliver them. That was a tough lesson. We were out delivering for almost 4 days straight.
Well, I like that, because your mindset there, the way I took it, is that you're not looking to get this one sale. You're looking to create a relationship with this particular outing, this group, to have them come back multiple times. You started with the referrals to try to get them to come back often, right? So it's more than just trying to get this sale just for today, but you're creating that long-term relationship.
So important. You're not selling, you're relationship building. The more you can build that relationship, when you finish that call, do you know that person's birth date? Do you know their anniversary? Do you know their kids' names? Do you know whether they're going out and buying a gift for their husband for their anniversary? I will mark down their anniversary and say, okay, I need to call Kelly and say, it's your anniversary. Did you buy your wife a gift? She's not selling me something. She just saved me from getting into big trouble with my wife.
Well, we have time for just one more question. So are you ready for this?
That went fast. Okay.
What's your favorite sales book?
Oh, Kelly. Kelly, thank you. Wait, I have a gift for you, Kelly. The Pro's Guide to Group Sales. I am giving this to you, my friend.
You.
So now you can be more bold and confident in selling. And my favorite part, can I flip really quick?
Oh, sure.
At the very, very back are all these great open houses and events that you can do.
Oh, neat.
When you invite people into a VIP open house or what I call a showcase event, they feel like a celebrity. They're getting a behind-the-scenes tour, and you get to have that relationship, and you will close more sales with them.
Well, thank you for the gift.
My pleasure.
We appreciate it. If you'd like to learn more about how to build your group sales event business, feel free to reach out to Sheryl directly. If you're ready to start improving your profitability, you can reach us at any time at education@bpaa.com. As we wrap up another edition of The Profit Break, remember that when your focus is on growing people, people will grow your business. This episode, as well as all of our previous Profit Break episodes, are available 24/7 for you and your team at bowlinguniversity.net. Plus, new episodes are available every month. So mark your calendar, watch your email, and join us on Facebook to hear about the latest episodes. Until then, I'm Kelly Bednar, and do for one what you wish you could do for everyone. We'll see you next time.